our names. We are back.
Are we on? We are on.
We're live.
So
many technical problems today. I was going to say this morning.
Yeah, we have a new camera and a new setup, so we're trying to figure out how it all works, aren't we?
Yeah.
And
learning our way around.
Here we go. So I am Declan DeWitt Hall, and this is my beloved wife Suzanne from the Where True Love Is movement, coming to you for our Friday live chat. You want to start us off?
I did want to start us off. So we did a couple of brief videos earlier this week, and talking about what we're highlighting through Pride Month. So today we're kind of wrapping up our first week of Pride Month, where we're focusing on all the colors of the rainbow. And so today we're going to talk a little bit about the acronyms in LGBTQIA+. I also wanted to say, what did you do? I think that the Where True Love Is devotional, the second edition, is on a sale price right now, a third off, I think. Is that
it is,
what you told
me? The Kindle price also was dropped today for the weekend. So
no.
Grab it. It's the lowest we could get them to go, so we're practically giving them away because we really want you to read them and be blessed by them.
Yes, and so next week we'll have a new topic, stay tuned, and new fun and games and new books to focus on.
To celebrate Pride.
Yeah. All right, so let's jump right into the acronym. The acronyms. We figured that, you know, a lot of us are pretty clear on some of the letters in LGBTQIA+, and some others are a little murky.
Right.
You want to start off? You want to kick us
off
off with the L?
Start with the L, and the L stands for lesbians, and that is a female identified person who is attracted to another female identifying person. So that's pretty easy.
Yeah, we were talking about asexuality the other day, and we'll get to that one where we're talking where the identity piece, the orientation piece is on the attraction, right? So lesbians, a female is attracted to a female.
There you
sexual
go.
Attraction.
You want to, well, another interesting thing about that is that you think about this has been around for a long time, but actually the lesbian term was just coined in the 60s and 70s. Before that, everyone who was, as what they used to call homosexual, which we don't use anymore, we use gay, was termed homosexual or gay. So now, since the 70s, the term lesbians.
The ladies got their own word.
They got their own word. You want to cover G?
G is, you know, the opposite, the same thing for guys. Males who are have sexual attraction to males.
Now, the interesting thing about the word gay, too, with the LGBTQIA+, is that gay is often used as a term, coined as a term for the whole community. I mean, sometimes you'll just see they're in the gay community. So it's not always a man attracted to a man. Sometimes it's used to represent the whole community.
I tend to use it for males or females now. I don't know how many of you people do too, but that tends to be
everything's shifting.
Related to same-sex attraction.
Right. Well, when I was in school, gay was very negative, as queer has been for many years, and it's not anymore. We've kind of taken it back. So. All right, you want to cover the B?
Bisexual. So that's a person who feels sexual attraction towards both males and females. Yeah, now that doesn't mean that they have sex with both males and females or relationships with both males and females, although some may. It just means that they have sexual attraction to both genders.
What is pansexual?
Oh, I was going to get to that at the end. Do you want to keep going? Because P is not in this acronym.
Well, it's interesting because I've seen some bisexual people don't like it to be coined as male or female, but just genders. And I thought that was another word that was more encompassing of everything.
But pansexuals, yeah,
right.
They can find sexual attraction towards people of any gender. Or all gender.
It's interesting because if it's your term and you've claimed that term, sometimes you don't like the way some other people define it. You want to define it yourself, which is okay.
Well, bi is different because, you know, bi people are not necessarily sexually attracted to someone who is non-binary in gender presentation. They may like only like real femme females or real masculine males, and something that, you know, crosses those, you know, is somewhere in between is something that's not attractive to them. So, you know, bi is different than pan for sure.
Right, right.
And
all
sexual.
Right, good job. Want to talk about transgender?
Transgender is someone whose sex assigned at the sex they were assigned at birth does not align with their gender identity. Like you should speak to this one.
Well, that's true. I am a transmasculine male. I was born in a female body, but I've always known that I am a man. So before transgender was used, they used to use the word transsexual. I don't like that as much. I don't know. Some people like.
Well, in some, these definitions are shifting and language changes over time.
Right.
And if you look at some sources, they will give you a slightly different definition. But sex and gender are two different things. Gender is a social construct. So when it comes to transgender people, some are more focused on needing to change to align their body to be more like the sex that their gender identifies with. And some are less concerned about their body aligning with the gender, with their gender. So there's a lot of variation there. So I think transsexual, there's some connotations of body, and it depends. Language changes.
It does. I mean, a lot of these terms that are in this acronym describes our community, adding the plus at the end, really started forming in the 60s and 70s. Transgender started being used in 65. So they're relatively new. So I got a feeling in 20 years, it's either going to have a whole lot of them at the end, or we're not going to need them. I hope we don't need them anymore.
Yeah.
I'd love if we didn't need them. Okay, you get the Q.
Q is queer, or some people say questioning. And that can be, what did you find for when you were searching? Because I think I use it a little bit differently. I use it as an umbrella for the alphabet soup. Some people really don't like that. Some people don't like the term period, and others kind of limit it to things that don't necessarily fit into one of the other letters. Did you find anything else?
That's what I'm seeing the most. I mean, a lot of people still don't like the term. In the 80s, it was thought of as a slur. Here comes Philip to say hi.
Come here.
He's like, I ran out of peanut butter.
He's hurting me. His toenails need to cut. Come here, baby.
So, it was a slur, and I think we're starting to take that back. You'll still see people in social media who say, don't use the word queer, I don't like it.
Yeah.
And that's generally people our age and older.
Yeah, who grew up with it.
Younger people don't seem to care about it as much as a slur, the same as gay was.
Right. And so the other Q of questioning is people are just not really sure where they are on the map. One thing we've been kind of seeing a rise in is people coming out as bi, recognizing or admitting that they're bi. And it's that's a whole nother topic. But sometimes it takes us a while to figure out who and what we are. I better not put him down. He'll just palm me some more.
Jump back up. One day we'll be filming and he'll jump on the table or something. All right, we're going to move on to intersex, and I'm going to let you have this one in asexual.
Okay, so intersex is a collection of conditions. There's tons of causes. So this is when a person is born and their external sex characteristics are confused. I mean, they're not confused, but they're confusing to other people who are viewing them, because there are sort of, what was the phrase? The phrase used by the Intersex Society of North America, they used the phrase bodies that differ from standards of male and female. So there's tons of variation in these conditions. They can be that the exterior genitalia doesn't match the internal reproductive organs. It can be a case of chromosomes, where you have these mosaic, they call them mosaic chromosomes, where you have the chromosomes of both males and females, and there's a variety of different kinds there. There's a bunch of conditions that happen in utero, which can result in intersex conditions. And one thing that surprised me, and I did not know, is that about 1 in 100 births, people have variations of these conditions. A lot of people don't even necessarily know it until throughout their whole life. It might be identified in an autopsy, it might not. But so 1 in 100 births have some sort of intersex condition, and about 1 out of every 1,000 births, surgeries are performed to intervene. And that is often problematic if there isn't a a health reason, right? Like, so if the genitalia permits urination and, you know, all the stuff that needs to happen with those parts of our bodies, there shouldn't be surgery done. And I mean, the increasing medical conclusions are that you let people choose once they get older, because you don't know what the person's gender are or what they might want to decide to do with their bodies.
Right.
What else am I taking on?
Well, I know that you're going to do asexual, but I just want to say that as we go down this line, it has seemed to me that there's less representation, or less times that people talk about the letters towards the end, like the intersex and asexual. We need to make sure that there's more representation and support for those people out there, because there are a lot of them. Yeah. It's just that those labels have been added as the years have gone on, so you haven't heard as much about it. So we try to speak about it more than some pages. I just think it's really important.
You'll hear us, we talk about it already, asexual already this week, so here we are again. And so the A can stand for asexual, aromantic, agender, and perhaps some other things too. I've seen androgynous and allo. Shoot, I don't remember what the allo is, but those are all A's. So asexual is somebody who doesn't have typical, the dog's just starting to play behind us, and there'll be a lot of clicking, snorting. Come here, boys. Asexual is someone who doesn't have sort of a standard kind of sexual attraction. Aromantic people are not interested in having romantic relationships, and agender people don't feel like they are either, you know, masculine or feminine, male or female. They're sort of neither. They're that A. If you think of the A in each of these, like you would think about atypical, like someone who is neural atypical, it means sort of not the standard. So if it's asexual, aromantic, agender is sort of not the standard. Is what the A stands for.
I like asexual. You're my favorite asexual.
I know. I'm so glad. I'm lucky.
Okay, so now we're going to talk about the plus a little bit. The plus on the end, some people will say that it stands for allies, but I don't think it does. From what I'm hearing from everybody who talks about the acronym, the plus is it's not just a mathematical symbol anymore. At the end of it, it means everything on the gender and sexuality spectrum that letters and words have not described yet. So it's everybody else out there. They're not included right now.
Well, you know, P is an important one because, and I'm surprised that it hasn't been like more actively engaged. Now, obviously, the plus covers it, but you know, P can be pansexual, so people who can feel sexual attraction to people of any gender. Panromantic, same thing. You could be romantically attracted to any gender, or even polyamorous for people who are, you know, want to have relationships with more than one people. So that's a P that's also sort of falls into the spectrums, but isn't included, which falls into the plus.
Yeah, I think well, that's a large group, and I think those things will be talked about more, just like the other ones have been added at the end. And it's not that they're any less important; it's just that it hasn't been talked about.
So here, and I'll give you an example of why the plus is used. I saw a reference when I was looking into some of this stuff today about an acronym that was being used in Canada, and it was LGBTQIA P2SAA.
Wow.
So we know
That's a
most of
mouthful.
them. It was so 2 Q's because queer, questioning, then intersex, and then pansexual, then two spirits. So that's the 2S, which is an indigenous indigenous people's phrase for a variety of things. Don't use that unless you're an indigenous person in most cases. And then androgynous and asexual. So, you know, plus is a heck of a lot easier to spit out all those letters. Not to mention how much space it takes. When
So we tried to cover all this really quickly in our 10 minutes. I'm sure we went over 10 minutes, and our dogs were running around. It's been one of those Fridays. We'll share some more information with some links to explain some of these terms better for anybody who wants, you know, to read them. I don't want anybody that is an ally to think that we are saying that allies aren't important, because allies are very important.
Hugely.
They're just not part of the acronym. It's not what that's for. So we love you, and we're glad that you support us. and we'll be sharing more information on the page. I hope you're having a great Pride.
Yes, and we're wrapping up our celebration of the rainbow alphabets, and go get your discounted Where True Love Is in both print and Kindle formats.
And no matter where you are on the spectrum, you are loved, you are beloved of God, created in their image. And say that to yourself every day. I am loved, I am beloved.
Yeah.
Happy Pride, everybody.
Happy Pride.
We'll see you next Friday.
Take care. Well, we'll probably see you before then because we're going to do more videos because it's Pride Month.
It is. You can't get rid of us.
We'll see ya. Bye-bye.
Wow.
Hold on.